What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Listen Man Show. The show for fans, by a fan. Listen, I hope you guys got a chance to check out some of the episodes we dropped this week. Man, I got some great feedback, so thank you for the support. As always, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the notification so you know when I go live. I'm going to be going live a lot more as the feedback has shown me that going live has been really fun for a lot of people. So I'm grateful for it. But most importantly, make sure that you share. Share with anyone that loves sports, anyone that loves having a good time, and just talking about things from a positive manner. So again, let's go. Listen, man, we got a great show today. ESPN's Big Mistakes. Now, ESPN is one of those channels I grew up on. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like as a kid, you would stay up all night long watching the same show over and over again with different personalities doing the show, but the same clips. But you still watched it no matter what. There was something intriguing about it. And the reason why I came up with the show is the last few weeks there's been some major changes on the network. But really what solidified it for me was sadly this week on the 18th, Mr. Bill Rasmussen died. He is the co-founder, but the one that started ESPN, really. And it made me think, like, as I'm listening to analysts and people on ESPN talk about, what ESPN meant to them and what he meant to them. And it just made me think, well, what made ESPN so great? And I just really came down to two words: the personalities. Mr. Rasmussen was not afraid to have people from all walks of life and different personalities and different takes on the show. And that made it enjoyable for us, right? No matter what we were into, we could find a show on ESPN that fit us. If you were an intern trying to break into, media, you had to show the sports reporters. You remember that? I mean, the characters that they had on there was phenomenal. Go back and watch some of those episodes, right? If you wanted to break down film, if you were a football player or an aspiring coach, Sunday mornings you could turn on the TV and you could go to ESPN and watch Ron Jaworski and Merle Hodges breaking down tape with Sal Palantonio, right? They broke things down in a way that was phenomenal, similar to the way Dan Orlovsky does today, but a whole show of breaking down tape. Something for you. But their personalities were out of this world, right? And then for those that maybe wanted to be a little bit more bombastic, you had Jim Rome as Bernie. Do you remember that show? He wouldn't make it today. His takes were crazy. I mean, he literally got punched in the face before because of the way that he talked about players. He just was very blunt and honest from his perspective. But he had a weekly show, a daily show that came on every day at the same time, every week. Mr. Rasmussen was not afraid to put personalities on TV. And that made ESPN great. That's not even including the Tony Kornheisers and Will Bonds on Pardon the Interruption, one of my favorite shows still. Not even including, some of the anchors that we've had. Stuart Scott, of course, the legend, Steve Levy, John Anderson. Some of the characters that we had, Barry Melrose, he made me love hockey. And I'm not even into hockey like that. He had the mullet and the wild color suits, and he always talked about hockey in a way that it was infectious, man. It just made you want to check out hockey to see what was he talking about. The debates were great. They didn't get personal. Nobody got their feelings hurt. So to me, those were the golden age of ESPN, the personalities. And remember this, think about this, guys. Think about this, family. What couldn't you wait to see about ESPN? You couldn't wait to see their commercials. They did a whole documentary just on ESPN commercials. You knew as a player that you made it if ESPN called you to do a commercial with some of their sports personalities. What a difference, right? You had Boomer. Whoop. He could go all the. I don't even have to finish it. You already know what I'm about to say. Think of all of the catchphrases, cooler than the other side of the pillow. He must be butter because he's on a roll. Think of those things that made ESPN so authentic. You had analysts and you had anchors that were just themselves. They were just cool. They weren't trying to be. They didn't take themselves too seriously. But it was fun. It was cool. And what do we have today? We have the get along gang. People that just want to get along with the corporate side of what ESPN is doing right now. And the get along gang, they're vanilla, they're oatmeal with no fruit in it, no honey, no nothing, just we went from those catchphrases, even recently with hey, he dropped a 40-piece swing dinner on them all flats to that boy. I don't even want to say it because it's sad. That boy's sad. That's what that is. That's what we have today. No personality, just to get along, gang. Everybody just wants to get along, and it's boring. You know what it reminds me of as I watch ESPN today. You know, losing Ryan Clark. You know, letting Kendrick Perkins go, not re-signing Woody, Damian Woody. You know, you're just cutting personality. It was so sad to me to see Swag Guru on this week. I was happy to see him. But it was like all the air was just taken out of him, man. Like he just gotta go make the donuts. Like he just gave the information. That joy that he had would be able to interact with his boys. That was natural. It was fun. It was cool. It was gone. And I actually felt bad for my boy Swagger. That's what we have today at ESPN. Don't get me wrong. I still love my Lewis Riddick. Super smooth. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Still got Dan Orlovsky, who I love. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He breaks down film phenomenally. But I mean, outside of those individuals, throw Jeff Saturday in there during the football season, right on Tuesday, pancakes. I love that. But outside of those things, what do we have? What does the Fox say? That boy's sad. Like we just have guys that are just trying to force being cool on us. And it's not natural. It's not fun. It's bland. You know what it reminds me of? And anybody that's an Office fan, if you've ever watched the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. Michael Scott always wanted to try to be cool, right? And so he would go down into the warehouse where the bros were, you know what I mean? And he would always try to get phrases from them, try to blend in and fit in with them, and they would do things to make fun of him. They would give him phrases or tell him to dress a certain way, and he would do it. And so they would say something like, you say hibbity bibbity, and they would try to make it sound real cool. And he would go upstairs in the office and he would be talking to people and he would be trying to have a little swag and be like hibbity bibbity. And he would be saying it so confidently, like it's so cool. Meanwhile, Daryl and the guys would be down there cracking up laughing at him. That's ESPN today. The Get Along gang, right? They're the Michael Scotts. It's a lot of hibbity bibbity. They're trying to get us to think that it's cool. But in actuality, we're the Duros, right? We're just laughing. We're cracking up like, man, what in the world are they doing? Who are they fooling? It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not funny. It doesn't make us watch. I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell me what you think. And I could hear y'all right now, like, Kev, look, man, change is good. It's inevitable, right? We sound like the Matrix. It's inevitable, Mr. Wilson. But change isn't always good. Here's a perfect example. People that know me know I always have a story for something. So, like a week and a half ago, right, we'll talk about change. I'm going into the store. Now, anybody that's ever been with me knows that if there's a woman coming out or coming in, I will always stand off to the side to let them go in. That's just how I've been raised. And I never have an issue. Usually I get a thank you. You know, sometimes they don't say nothing at all, and that irritates me, but that's a story for another day. But in this particular day, me and another lady were walking towards the door. I was coming from one direction, she was coming from another. She's probably in her late 50s, maybe. Um, and so I stepped to the side and I'm like, you know, please go ahead. She stops and she says, no, you go. And I'm like, no, 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 please go. And I even tried to make light of it by saying, like, you know, my mom would kill me if I walked in before you, you know, trying to smile and she's steady going back and forth with me. Now, for those that know me and know where I live, like I'm on the coast of North Carolina. In the last 2 weeks, we've had record highs. So we standing out there melting in 110 degrees because you don't want to go inside to the AC. And I'm standing. So finally, she starts like raising her voice, and she's just like, "It's too much attention. It's too much attention. You just go." And people starting to look like maybe I'm doing something. So I'm like, "Ma'am, just go, please." So finally, an older lady is coming out. So I let her come out. She's probably in her 80s. And so she says, "Thank you, young man." And she turns to the lady and starts going off on her, telling her like she's ruined it. This is why guys don't do this kind of stuff for women no more. Da 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 da. She goes off on this lady. I go inside. Change. Is it good? Is it bad? All change isn't good. And I get the independent side of things, but I mean, my goodness, just out of common courtesy, let somebody let you in the AC. So ESPN, all change is not good. It's not. You can't let talent go and try to replace it with talent that's not even on the same level. You're a sports network. You see teams that let players of high caliber go and try to replace them with lower tier players. It doesn't matter if they have a roster full of them, they don't win. So being a fan of ESPN, I hope the best. But the reason why this show is entitled ESPN's Big Mistake is really because I feel like they're making a mistake that might not harm them right now, next week, next year, but the ratings will begin to drop if you keep with the hibbity bibbity. Keep with the hibbity bibbity and the get along gang, and I promise you, the ratings will drop. And maybe, just maybe then, you'll learn, and maybe you'll reach back out to the Jalen Roses and the Stan Van Gundys and Mark Jacksons and Ryan Clarks and so many others that you let go that had great personalities that made shows great. And remember, when you brought a lot of these guys on, the shows that they were on were failing. You started winning because a lot of these personalities. So whoever is upstairs running this business right now, you need to take a page from Mr. Bill Rasmussen, who you probably sent a beautiful quote about. You need to go back to Mr. Bill Rasmussen and you need to look at his blueprint and say, his blueprint told us personality matters. We need to get more personality on our anchors, more personality like a Woody Page and Cold Pizza, because all of us fans out here are different. We have different personalities. So appeal to the fan base. I don't know. What do you guys think? Make sure you put it in the chat. Did I go too far? Did I not go far enough? Is this something that we need to do a live on? Let me know. What are your thoughts on it? But please, my goodness, let's stop with the hibbity bibbity, ESPN. Like my grandmother used to tell me, just knock it off.